Have you ever had a close call? One of those moments where if you'd been just half a second slower, that would have been it? Ever felt that icy chill down your spine when death was right there? But somehow, in a way you can't even explain, you walked away without a scratch? Countless folks say they've been pulled back from the edge like that, like an invisible hand yanked them out of danger at the very last instant. And you know whose hand that was? You're right. It was the good Lord himself. Sounds hard to believe, I know, but I'm not stretching the truth one bit. Because in just a minute you're gonna see real footage that'll make your heart pound so hard you'll sit straight up in your chair. Raw, breathless, edge of your seat moments, where one single second decided who lived and who didn't. You won't be able to look away. You won't breathe right. And after this, you'll never again doubt he's watching over us. And if you've ever had one of those moments yourself, saved in some crazy way you still can't figure out, drop your story down in the comments. Your story might be the very next piece that shows these miracles are happening around us every single day. Make sure you watch clearly to the end so you don't miss all 7 of these unbelievable strokes of luck caught on camera. All right, no more waiting. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to see is going to give you goosebumps and keep your eyes glued to the screen the whole time. Here we go. 1. Traffic light malfunctions. Couple stops at red and accidentally escapes disaster. Right from the first second, we're dropped into something that looks totally ordinary, but has this strange, almost spooky intervention behind it. On a jammed-up intersection in New York City, a couple is cruising down the highway doing about 50 miles an hour. They're grumbling because the light suddenly flipped from green to red and just stayed red way too long, forcing them to stop without a clue why. We've all gotten annoyed at stuff like that, haven't we? But in that little moment that felt like nothing more than a nuisance, everything turned upside down in a way nobody saw coming. While they're sitting there mad and checking the time, 2 cars up ahead blow past doing close to 70. One of them suddenly loses a wheel, and then, in one heart-stopping second, that tire breaks off the axle, spins through the air, and flies just inches over the roof of their car, missing them by a couple of feet. A tiny shift in angle, and the story ends completely different. And the craziest part? If that light hadn't messed up, they would have driven right into its path. That moment brings Psalm 91 to 11:1-2 right to life, where it says, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Watching this video, those words feel real. It's protection so perfect, it can't be just luck. Even a few seconds stuck at a red light feels like somebody purposely pulled them out of the way of death. And then Psalm 121:7-8 keeps going. "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore." That couple had no idea the very moment they were annoyed about stopping was the exact moment they were being watched over, coming and going. See what I mean? Sometimes the little irritations in life are the thin line between living and not. It's the same thing we read about in Exodus chapter 14, when an invisible wall, the pillar of cloud, stood between the Israelites and the Egyptian army and kept them safe from danger that was right on their heels. Same deal here. A traffic light that wasn't working right, but worked exactly right to keep them alive. Gives you chills, doesn't it? One tiny change in timing, and lives are spared. But the story doesn't end there, because even out in the wild, miles from anywhere, God still shows up in ways you'd never expect. And what happened next to a logger deep in the woods will take your breath away even more. 2. The tree snaps in half, but the worker walks away without a scratch. We leave the busy streets behind and head straight into the deep woods of the Pacific Northwest in Washington. A logger is totally focused, chainsaw in hand, getting ready to bring down a tree that's 100 feet tall. Everything's quiet except for the roar of the saw and the rustle of leaves. Doesn't that kind of work make your palms sweat a little? Same scene again. Deep in the forest, guys concentrating hard, saw screaming, getting set to drop this giant tree. You feel your heart pick up yet? Because what happens next will take your breath away. All of a sudden, the trunk splits clean in two. The guy loses his balance and slides down his safety rope. That huge top half comes crashing down just a couple feet away from him, close enough to make you gasp. One tiny mistake and it would have been over. But there he stands, not a scratch on him, like some unseen hand caught him and set him down gentle. It brings Psalm 91 to 11:1-2 right to mind. For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. It's not just words on a page. It happened for real. The Lord really did send his angels to catch that man and lower him safely instead of letting him get crushed. And then there's Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Watching that massive trunk fall right beside him and never touch him, you can almost feel God's protection. He's like a rock standing between danger and his child, shielding him even when you can't see it. Psalm 91:7 fits perfect too. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. This logger is a modern-day David hiding from Saul in the cave. Danger all around, but never quite touching him. Sometimes evil gets that close, yet an invisible hand keeps it back, and we never even know. Now, if your heart's still pounding, take a nice deep breath, because we're leaving the wild forest and heading someplace a lot closer to home, your own backyard, where little accidents can still stop you dead in your tracks. Any guesses what's coming next? Settle in, because the next story is going to surprise you even more. 3. A man completely covered by flames on his face. We leave the wild mountains and step into something much more familiar. A backyard in a Chicago suburb. A guy's just firing up the grill, like any normal weekend thing. But guess what? 1 second later, all that peace is gone in a flash. He turns on the gas, and whoosh, the flames explode and swallow him whole. It happens so fast. The crazy part? He only gets a few singed hairs on his head and beard. His skin doesn't even get badly burned. A total life or death moment, and he walks away pretty much fine. Ever had your heart jump right out of your chest? This is one of those. The Bible comes to mind loud and clear. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." That fire was a test. But an unseen hand was shielding him. It wasn't just luck. It was something way beyond what we can figure out. Like the fourth man in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego back in Daniel chapter 3, right there in that backyard. Psalm 34:19 says, "The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all." This guy is living proof. The fire came roaring like the trials we all face, but the Lord held him safe and turned near death into a flat-out miracle. Can you feel that presence? 1 second is all it takes to get your heart pounding. This story reminds us that danger isn't just out in the woods or on the highway. Even everyday stuff we think is perfectly safe can turn deadly in a heartbeat. And God, with his unseen hand, is still watching over every little detail of our lives. That wonder is a quiet reminder. You're never alone when trouble comes. And if you were holding your breath just now, get ready. It's not just fire coming up next. Sharp things, speed, hard impacts, all of it. But every single time, the Lord steps in and leaves you stunned. We'll see it in the next video with 2 guys throwing axes. You ready? 4. A super dangerous axe-throwing close call. We leave the backyard barbecue and head to a quiet forest near Munich, Germany, where 2 guys are throwing axes at a target, testing how accurate they can be. What looked like just a normal moment suddenly turns scary. You can hardly breathe watching it. Can you picture it? They're only a few feet apart, and every throw could go terribly wrong. The first axe hits the target just fine, no problem. But the second one bounces off the blade, shoots back like a bullet, and flies right through the tiny gap between the 2 men, only inches away from them. One tiny mistake, and it would have been a disaster, and yet nothing touched them. Life felt so fragile right then, but they walked away without a scratch. This reminds me of Psalm 91:7. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. Right in the middle of real danger, an unseen hand was protecting them, pushing that axe just off its path. Psalm 46:1 says it too. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. You can see it, can't you? The Lord was watching over those guys, the same way he kept David safe when Saul's spears barely missed him. 1 Samuel chapter 20. Danger flew right past and never touched him. Try to imagine you're standing there yourself, watching that sharp blade zip between them and not hit a thing. Can you feel how amazing that is? This is one of the clearest examples I've ever seen of God stepping in when no human could explain it. The story shows us that staying safe wasn't just luck. It was an invisible hand guiding every little movement. God is there all the time, whether it's deep in the woods or in the everyday stuff that seems harmless. Even in that heart-pounding second, they were completely protected, and we're not done yet. Get ready. Next, we're heading back to a busy street where a man almost gets run over by a truck, and you'll see that same unseen hand save a life by inches all over again. You ready to keep going? 5. The man who escaped death by a hair's breadth. Now come with me to a busy street right in the heart of London, packed with people and cars. An older man is standing there waiting to cross the road. Nothing unusual, looks perfectly safe. But in just a couple of seconds, you're going to see how fragile life really is when a big truck comes barreling toward him at 40 miles an hour, right in its blind spot. The truck is getting closer, and you'll probably hold your breath when a small car suddenly swerves out of nowhere. Its turn signal wasn't working, and that little broken blinker ends up saving the day. The car cuts in at the exact right moment and becomes an invisible shield. The man steps back just in time and walks away from what looked like certain death. This brings to mind Psalm 121:7-8. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Right there in the middle of a noisy city street, that protection was real, like an unseen hand, bending time and space to keep a man alive. Psalm 91:1-2 says the same thing. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. Have you ever noticed that kind of miracle happening around you? Look a little closer. That little car became a life or death shield, the same way Rahab hid the Israelite spies back in Joshua chapter 2. What looked like random traffic was actually the hidden hand of God, turning danger into safety in the blink of an eye. Moments like that make you wonder, how many times has He saved us when we never even knew we were in danger? This story reminds us that God's rescue doesn't always come in big, flashy miracles. Most of the time, it's in the tiny, everyday things we barely notice. You just saw it again. He's right there, stepping in, watching over us, even in the rush of city life. All right, now we're heading somewhere completely different. A dark highway at night, where an unexpected creature becomes the hero, and you'll see once more how God's unseen power protects people in moments that look hopeless. You ready? 6. A couple saved by an animal. It was pitch black night on a high mountain highway in Colorado. The car headlights only lit up about 100 feet ahead. This older couple was driving home. Everything seemed normal, but every second felt tense. Suddenly, a deer with big antlers jumped right out in the middle of the road. The wife screamed for her husband to hit the brakes hard. Just a moment after it was all over, they saw the huge drop-off right in front of them. If they'd been 1 second slower, they would have gone over the edge and fallen hundreds of feet. That deer accidentally became a living shield, a real miracle in the dark. Can you imagine standing that close to the edge? It brings to mind Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Even in total darkness and danger, God's guidance is right there, like an unseen hand showing the way. Psalm 23:4 says the same thing. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This makes me think of Balaam's donkey back in Numbers 22, when God used an animal to warn him and save his life. That deer in the dark was like a living message reminding us that God can use anything, even a wild animal, to keep his people from disaster. Have you ever noticed that unseen presence? Something that seemed totally random turned out to save their lives, and it touches your heart. In just a couple of seconds, they were kept from going over the cliff, a reminder that he's always there even when we don't realize it. From that narrow mountain road, we're about to move to wide open country, where a lightning bolt almost struck, and you'll see again how God's unseen hand protects those who trust him, even when all hope looks gone. So hang on tight, keep your eyes open, and don't miss the amazing thing that's coming next. 7. Man dodges a deadly lightning bolt by inches. It was a peaceful evening at a campsite in rural France. The group was getting ready to grill some meat, laughing and chatting, when out of nowhere, nature decided to throw a curveball. A sudden downpour soaked everyone, so one guy took off his clothes to rinse off real quick. Who would have thought? The second he stepped away, a huge red lightning bolt slammed down exactly where he'd just been standing, only a couple of feet away. The power of it left everybody stunned. Can you imagine how that feels? Missing death by a hair? The Bible talks about this kind of thing. Nahum 1-7 says, "The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. Even when danger comes out of the blue, he's the safe place, watching over and protecting anyone who trusts him." And in John 16:33, Jesus says, "I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. You will have suffering in this world, but take heart, I have overcome the world." That rain coming at just the right moment felt like a nudge from God to move. Kind of like how he hurried Lot out of Sodom right before fire came down from heaven. Genesis 19. The lightning was like judgment falling, but one little change in what the guy did, even though he didn't know why, saved his life. Have you ever noticed God working that quietly in your own life? Moments that seem totally random are really proof of his unseen hand looking out for us. From blazing lightning strikes to deer saving lives, axes, cars, it all adds up to one amazing chain of protection. That whole group walked away alive, reminding us that faith and paying attention can save you. But even more than that, God is always right there, guiding us through the danger. We just went through all 7 of these heart-pounding close calls that actually got caught on camera. Out there in the world, there are tons more stories, even wilder than these. Which one stuck with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever sat back and really thought about moments like these and wondered what God might be trying to tell the world? What bigger meaning could be hiding behind things we just call coincidences? In just a minute, you and I are going to dig a little deeper into what he's doing and figure out what he's really saying to us. Let's go back over the moments we just saw, from New York, where a broken traffic light could have caused a terrible wreck, to the Pacific Northwest in Washington, where a 100-foot tree fell right next to the logger but never touched him. Every one of these things that look like random luck actually points to something supernatural, something no human hand could control. Do you see it? Every little detail that seems like pure chance happened at exactly the right second, in exactly the right spot, like an unseen hand was guiding every moment. Falling trees, flying axes, flames shooting up, they all have one thing in common: God showing up in the tiniest details. Psalm 139:7-10 reminds us, "Wherever I go, your spirit is there. Wherever I step, your hand is leading me." Even when we don't see him, he's watching and protecting every single second. Every wheel that comes off, every axe that flies, every red-hot bolt of lightning, it's all a sign that his presence never leaves. Psalm 91 and Isaiah 43 keep telling us that God protects those who trust him. The logger, The man at the grill, the couple on the mountain road, the tourists in France. They're all living proof that angels and circumstances get used to shield people's lives. What we used to call accidents are really part of a divine plan laid out ahead of time. The moment you feel all alone, you're not. God is guarding every step you take. Look a little closer, and you'll see God uses all kinds of ways to keep us safe. A car that ends up being a shield between a truck and a man waiting on the street in London. Like Psalm 91:1-2 says, "Whoever lives in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress." That little car just happened to create an invisible wall of protection, straight proof of how God moves things around to save lives. The elk in Colorado that charged out at just the right moment to stop that couple from going over the cliff, that wasn't random either. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths." That elk became an angel in the shape of a wild animal, steering them away from disaster. Can you imagine what might have happened without it? That lucky moment was really a warning and a guiding hand from God. The same thing with those tourists in France who almost got hit by lightning. Dust made the man step away just seconds before the red bolt struck, kind of like how God hurried Lot out of Sodom before the fire came down. Genesis 19. Nahum 1-7 says, "The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in Him." It all shows He protects the ones who trust Him and move when He says move. These stories aren't just about physical protection, they're about spiritual protection too. God doesn't just watch. He steps into our decisions and our steps. Psalm 34:19 says, "The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all." Once we get that, we realize every action, every coincidence has meaning, and praying and trusting every day is how we walk with Him. It's not just these amazing stories. History and the news are full of the same kind of miracles. A recent car wreck here in the States where the driver walked away because of some random thing, those moments aren't random at all. Every life saved is proof of God's power and a reminder that faith isn't an accident. It's how we notice His protection in everyday life. God uses nature, people, and circumstances as His tools to save us. The logger who didn't get hurt, the axe that missed the two men in Munich, the fire that only singed the man's hair, all of it shows His power and His endless love. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air. They don't sow or reap, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? If He takes care of the birds, don't you think He cares about us?" Through these 7 moments, one message comes through, loud and clear. God loves us and watches over us every single second. He uses things we'd never expect, angels, animals, plain old circumstances, to keep us safe from harm. What looks random is actually living proof of His power and love. And you know what? Every one of these moments is an invitation to notice that God isn't far away. He's right here, in every step, every decision, even the little things we call luck. When we see that, we feel safer, and we understand that even the smallest things can turn into miracles in His plan. We just walked through 7 wonderful moments together. Now ask yourself, could every detail in your own life be quietly guided and guarded so you'll see His power and love? That's exactly what these moments are trying to tell us. Not just about being saved, but about trusting, recognizing, and living in God's presence every day. If you're reading this and wondering, am I missing these signs? Just stop for a minute, look around, and feel what's going on. Every little moment, every daily coincidence could be a message from God. Open your heart, and you'll see He's always there, quietly guiding, shielding, and protecting every minute of your life. Through these 7 strange, beautiful moments, we see one truth we can't deny. God is always watching, protecting, and leading us. He never leaves us alone, no matter how close the danger gets. Every falling tree, flying axe, burst of flame, little car, elk, or lightning bolt is a sign, a reminder that He's right here, waiting for us to trust Him and walk in His guidance. So now, when you look back at these moments, you won't just see luck anymore. You'll see God's power, His care, and His love in the smallest details. That's the invitation, to live carefully, to notice, to trust, and to pray every day so we can keep walking with Him through every moment, every trial, and every joy of this life. Those close call moments we just watched, were they really just luck? Or was it God's hand guiding every step? Every single thing, from the falling tree, the blazing fire, the flying axe, the cars, the deer with antlers, all the way to that fierce lightning bolt, each one could be a sign of an invisible power protecting us. Even when you think it's just a coincidence, it's actually Him watching over us and stepping in. Let's look back at each one. The man standing right in the middle of the fire, without a single burn. The axe flying past but missing him completely. Trucks and cars turning into unseen shields. The deer showing up just in time to warn him. The bright red lightning striking an empty spot and sparing his life. What looked like pure chance is actually living proof. God is still at work today. He hasn't walked away from any of us. Psalm 139, 7-10 reminds us, "Wherever I go, your spirit is there. Wherever I walk, your hand is leading me. Feel it with me. Every step you take is right in His sight and under His protection." Doesn't your heart warm up a little when you realize that every move you make, every choice, every ordinary moment might be watched over and guarded by God? He doesn't just protect our bodies, He protects our hearts and our spirits too. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds in the sky. They don't plant or harvest, yet your Father in heaven feeds them. If He cares for every little bird, do you think He'd ever forget about you?" Every small miracle and every big one is proof of how much He cares and keeps us safe. These moments also remind us that faith isn't something that just happens. It grows stronger through real-life experience. Every time you walk away from danger, every time you somehow make it through. Make daily prayer a habit. Look around and notice the ways He's protecting you. That's how you live with strong faith and really see God's power. God also calls us to share our faith. When you tell people about the miracles you've seen, you spread hope and comfort. One little story can spark big faith in someone else's heart. You can start by telling a friend or family member, or even leave a comment under the video so others can see that God's power is everywhere. Remember, prayer and gratitude are the keys to receiving His blessings. Live thankful, share your faith, notice the miracles around you, and you'll see every day as a chance to feel His power and love. Psalm 91:14-15 says, "Because He loves me, I will rescue Him. I will set Him up high because He knows my name." Let those words echo in your mind and guide what you do every day. You can start right now. Look around. Notice those lucky moments that didn't feel random, and ask yourself, what is God trying to tell me? Write it down. Share your story with friends or the community, or just sit with it. You're already part of His wonderful plan. Even the tiniest details in life can be miracles. If this touched you, please hit like, share, and subscribe. That way, you're helping me spread the message. God is still with us, guarding every step and every precious moment we have. Live with faith and hope, and you'll see His power in every part of life, the ordinary and the amazing. Those 7 near-death moments prove that God isn't just a story from the Bible. He's real and alive right now. From accidents that looked random to everyday miracles, they all show His love and power. Live in that faith. Pray every day. Give thanks. And tell your stories so others can discover God's wonderful power too. Open your heart and see that nothing, no action, no coincidence, no piece of good luck is truly random. God is right there with you, protecting you and guiding every step. Pray, live gratefully, and spread faith. That's the final message these 7 moments bring you. Step into each new Hugh day with faith, hope, and the peace he gives. And never forget, you are always held in his hands.
Somebody tell me, what the is this?
Two friends.
You know, in these past few years, the world has suddenly turned strange, like the laws of nature are being put to the test. Weird things keep popping up one after another, way beyond what science can explain. The oceans start doing strange things. The sky looks unnatural. Animals act all out of whack, and the sea seems like it's breathing hard. Every one of these events reminds us of those old prophecies about the end of the world, like history is repeating itself right in front of our eyes. Extreme weather, terrible storms, strange creatures showing up, odd signs in the sky and the oceans. All of it is shouting the same message: we're running out of time. These aren't just random coincidences. These signs are warnings straight from the Creator, telling us that mankind is facing a second great flood. Just like in Noah's day, when the world was washed clean of sin, we're looking at another cleansing now, only this time it's direct and coming fast. Every single thing we see, big or small, is a reminder. The clock is ticking, and only those who wake up in time will make it through this great judgment and reach the heaven that God has already prepared for His own. Are you ready for what's coming? Stay with me till the end of the video, because up next are 7 signs you can't ignore, each one like a bell ringing loud, hitting us right where we live and right in the soul. And I'm absolutely sure of this. This message didn't find you by accident. It came looking for you, because you're one of the ones spoken of in the prophecies. So let's not waste another minute. Right now, we're going to look together at the 7 strange things happening that show the second great flood is a whole lot closer than most folks think. 1. Water pouring out of a cliffside in a really strange way, then vanishing into thin air the second it hits the ocean. There's this coastal cliff somewhere in Asia where water suddenly starts gushing out of solid rock, falling toward the sea like a waterfall. But the moment it touches the water down below, poof, it completely evaporates. Local folks just stood there with their mouths open, phones out, filming like crazy. The videos blew up all over social media. Even the experts around there can't explain it. Every rule of physics seems turned upside down. Pretty wild to watch, isn't it? Scientists tried everything. The temperature isn't hot enough to make water evaporate that fast. There's no weird chemicals in it. Nothing works. The water almost looks like it's fighting gravity, shooting back up into the sky like it wants to go home to heaven. Nobody has a clue why, and the fact that science is stumped actually makes it kind of scary. This isn't just a weird natural thing. It feels supernatural, something the eye can see but the mind can't figure out. When you connect it to the Bible, it sure reminds you of the Great Flood. Genesis 7:11. On that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. That disappearing water feels like a little reminder that there's still a huge amount of water hidden deep underground, just waiting for the right moment to come rushing out. It's a visual warning. A worldwide flood isn't just an old story. It could really happen again. If you look at it spiritually, water vanishing the instant it hits the sea is almost like sin being wiped away in a flash. It's a wake-up call that anyone who isn't ready spiritually could get swept away. It feels like a warning about a flood that will wash away a sinful world, and only the people who are paying attention will have a chance to stand. If you've ever watched those end-of-the-world movies, this looks exactly like a scene that jumped off the screen. Water suddenly gone, the ocean not acting normal anymore, the sky holding some terrible secret. But this isn't Hollywood. This is actually happening right now on our planet. So what's the big message here? We'd better get our hearts ready. Nature and something beyond nature are both trying to tell us something. This strange water might be the beginning of a flood that covers the whole earth. Look around, pay attention, and ask yourself, are you ready? And if you think water is the only thing sending signs, just look up at the sky, because the next one is already starting to appear. A mysterious black ring just hanging there, making everything feel like the air itself is holding its breath. 2. A huge circle of black bugs hanging in the sky. Really strange. This video was shot by a local guy living on the Oregon coast. One day, he just happened to look up and saw this perfect black ring floating in a clear blue sky. Thousands of tiny bugs were flying together in a tight circle, moving like one giant living thing, making a big dark shadow way up there. Folks around there freaked out. Phones came out, everybody started filming, and the clip blew up all over social media. The whole world pretty much held its breath, watching that swarm dance across the sky. Can you even picture how wild that must have looked in real life? Scientists tried to explain it, but these bugs weren't just flying around random. They seemed to know something awful was coming. Same way fish, birds, and animals all over the world take off before a big disaster hits. This wasn't just weird behavior. It felt like a message straight from nature, a warning nobody could miss. It took me right back to the Bible. Exodus 8:21. Swarms of flies and plagues were signs to remind the people of God's anger. That black ring over Oregon sure looked like a whirlpool or a black hole ready to swallow everything. A sign of chaos coming from the sea and the sky. Don't brush off these little creatures. They might just be messengers from the Creator himself, telling us trouble's on the way. It reminded me of those huge flocks of birds that sometimes form strange shapes in the sky, group behavior that ends up predicting disasters. Animals are sensing a second great flood coming, and if we pay attention, we'll see nature getting ready. Nothing's random anymore. The sky, the land, and the ocean are all working together to let us know something big could hit any day now. Have you started feeling nature breathing different yet? If bugs can see what's coming, are we awake enough to notice? This is a wake-up call. Look around. Really look, because this swarm is only the beginning. And if you think that black circle was the scariest part, hang on. Next, we're going to see massive rolling clouds dropping right down to the ocean, forming what looks like cloud tsunamis. We'll watch that one together in the next sign. 3. Huge clouds rolling down right onto the ocean surface, turning into a giant cloud tsunami rushing toward the land. A group of tourists felt incredibly lucky to catch this on video. Something both awesome and downright strange. Early one morning on a Pacific beach. In their footage, you can feel the waves lapping at their feet, the cold wind blowing. And then all of a sudden, a massive wall of cloud comes tumbling out of the sky straight down to the water like a mountain of water. It wasn't just floating. It dropped onto the sea, whipped up huge waves, almost like the ocean was pouring down from above. You can feel the raw power. It makes your heart beat faster. Weather experts say this wasn't a regular tornado or any normal weather event. This was clouds touching down and moving like a flood. Something never recorded before, pretty much breaking every rule of physics we thought we knew. Doesn't it give you chills seeing the sky and the sea join forces into one giant destructive power, like nature itself is waking up? This scene takes us straight back to the Great Flood. Genesis 7:11-1-2. On that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Those clouds crashing down into the Pacific give you a real picture of the whole world being flooded, a perfect image of the heavens opening and the water pouring out. Do you feel the warning in it? Like nature is talking to us right this minute? It's not just a symbol. It's a real reminder of nature's power, mixed with something beyond nature. Climate change might make weird events happen more often, but what you just saw goes way past science. It feels like a message from the Creator himself, a heads up that disaster can come out of nowhere. Every roll of clouds slamming toward the shore like a tsunami from the sky screams that we can't get cocky. This was a tsunami in the air, a sign of the heavens and the ocean teaming up for the cleansing that's coming. If you think you're safe, stop for a second and really look around. Nature never sends a warning twice. And just when you catch your breath from that one, get ready for what comes next. Tiny, mysterious creatures showing up, lining up in the shape of a boat deep in the forest, sending a quiet message about rescue to anyone willing to listen. 4. Hundreds of caterpillars wriggling together to form a strange boat shape. Deep in a South American rainforest, where every sound just gets swallowed up by the quiet, a park ranger came across something really strange. Hundreds of caterpillars started curling up together and made this weird shape that looked just like a little living boat. They all moved at the same time, inching along like one single creature. Have you ever seen tiny bugs do something that wild? Scientists say this isn't random at all. The caterpillars are actually building a boat shape to survive, almost like they know a disaster is coming. Every twist and turn shows how perfectly they work together, and it makes you wonder, is some unseen force guiding them? Like they're sending us a message from somewhere we can't see? This picture really reminds us of Noah's Ark, Genesis 6:14. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, and you'll use this ark to save yourself, your family, and the animals. These little caterpillars are getting on the boat, just like a gentle reminder that only the ones who wake up and listen will be saved. The same way Noah and his family were. Doesn't it give you chills to think nature might be warning us, even through something as small as caterpillars? It's not just a symbol either. People have seen animals act like prophets lots of times. Birds flying in strange patterns, fish jumping out of rivers right before earthquakes. Every one of these signs feels like a quiet voice saying, "Time's running short. Get ready." But the biggest thing here is the message God is sending through these tiny creatures. Salvation is waiting for anyone who notices in time. The choice is yours. Step onto the ark of faith or get swept away when the flood comes. That choice isn't far off anymore. You ready for the next one? It's about strange, see-through creatures showing up from the deep ocean. Cloudy-looking things that remind us the flood isn't over yet, and the supernatural signs just keep coming right in front of our eyes. 5. Strange creature spotted deep in the ocean. It looks like a snake, but floats around like a cloud. Just when you're still getting over that weird deep forest ship thing in the rainforest, the deep ocean goes and shows us something else that'll make even seasoned divers freeze in their tracks. A video taken way down in the Indian Ocean catches this bizarre creature drifting in the pitch-black water. Super long and twisty like a snake, but hollow inside, soft and dreamy. Almost like a cloud floating through the sea. Look close, and you can see it moving ever so slightly, like it's breathing. Beautiful and creepy at the same time. At first, the experts tried to say it was just some underwater vortex full of gas. But the thing is way too neatly shaped for that explanation to hold up. Some folks think it's the remains of an unknown deep-sea animal. The more they study it, though, the more it looks less like biology and more like something supernatural. What do you think? If you ran into this thing in real life, would you swim closer? Pretty soon, people started comparing the video to old stories about ancient floods, especially the Great Flood in the Bible, when it says, "The fountains of the great deep burst forth," Genesis 7:11. All the springs of the great deep burst open, and the windows of the heavens were opened. This snake cloud thing looks exactly like a living sketch of one of those underground water spouts waking up, getting ready to flood the surface. It really feels like the ocean is trying to tell us something, like it's stirring and warning us that something big is coming. The deeper meaning hits even harder when people point out how much it looks like Leviathan, that giant sea serpent in the Bible, the one tied to the end times and judgment day. Psalm 74:14 says God crushed the heads of Leviathan. It's probably no coincidence that right now, when strange signs are popping up everywhere, the deep sea suddenly shows us something that looks just like the apocalyptic serpent. It feels like a warning that the ocean, quiet for centuries, is waking up. When you dig deeper, this lines up with a bunch of other weird stuff they've found on the ocean floor lately. natural walls that look man-made, glowing creatures that don't follow any normal biology rules. Put it all together and you get the picture. We've only explored a tiny fraction of the deep sea, and that's where Earth keeps its oldest secrets. If a disaster ever starts somewhere, it'll probably start in the darkest place we know, the bottom of the ocean. The message is pretty clear by now. These signs from the deep are reminding us that if another flood ever comes, the water won't just fall from the sky. It'll burst up from under the ground and from the heart of the sea. We're standing right on the edge between fake calm and a truth that's getting closer every day. Then, just as that snake cloud thing fades away into the darkness, something else happens up in the sky that makes the whole world look up and wonder if that was the next warning straight from heaven. 6. The sky split clean in two. One half a golden-orange sunset, the other a dark, gloomy blue like the deep ocean. The sixth sign showed up like something so beautiful it took your breath away, yet scary enough to give you chills. The sky literally torn right down the middle. One side burned red-orange like a sunset, singing its last song. The other side cold and deep blue like the bottom of the sea. This was caught on camera one afternoon up near Scandinavia, and if you'd seen it with your own eyes, you'd probably have frozen just like I did at first. Nature doesn't draw a line that sharp for no reason, unless something wants to be noticed. Weather folks call it a convection edge, but that perfect split went way beyond any normal science explanation. It wasn't just light playing tricks. It felt like a supernatural reminder that some invisible dividing line is getting closer. Did you feel it too? It was almost like the sky was saying, time to pick a side. That warm orange didn't just mean peace. It stood for souls being lifted up. The cold, dark blue felt like the stare of the deep, ready to swallow anyone still on the fence. In the Bible, Matthew 25-32 says, "All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, just as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats." When the sky split like that, it was like a living picture of those words, not in writing, but in light and shadow. Once again, Scripture showed up right there in the heavens. This isn't just church talk anymore. It's so clear that even the biggest skeptics pause before brushing it off. Look a little deeper, and this thing forces us to face the question we've always tried to dodge. Which side are you on when the sky stops blending and picks for itself? For centuries, old writings talked about split skies as warnings of huge shifts in right and wrong, in where we're headed. Today, with one strange thing after another popping up, this one feels more like a wake-up call than ever. Then, watching that dark blue side slowly creep wider, it hit me. Nature isn't trying to scare us, it's trying to wake us up. The sky used to be one big painting. Now it's a mirror, showing every person's choice. Do you want the warmth or the cold? Do you want to rise or sink? However you hear those questions, whether I say them or you feel them yourself, they all point to the same thing. We're being warned, plain as day. That's why this sky sign can't be ignored. It doesn't just open a new chapter in all these wonders. It's the clearest invitation yet. Step into the light before that line closes for good. Because even before the sky had a chance to go back to normal, another sign, stronger, harder to believe, was already getting ready to appear in the last place anyone would think to look. Are you truly ready for what's coming next? 7. A strange pillar of light, shining down from the clouds to the earth. The seventh sign showed up so quietly that if you just glanced at it, you'd probably think it was nothing more than late afternoon sunshine. But when the weather folks sped up the video, everybody just froze. Out of an ordinary gray cloud, a slit of light suddenly opened, and a soft golden beam shot straight down to the ground, like an arrow from heaven. This thing was caught on camera in a bunch of places all at the same time: Canada, Japan, even North Africa. And folks who saw it all felt the same way. That wasn't regular sunlight. It had this gentle feel, but also a kind of quiet power that made you want to look up and keep looking a little longer. Some tried to explain it away as just a light pillar, You know, those columns you get when ice crystals catch the light. But if you watch close, that beam wasn't standing still. It was breathing, getting wider, then narrower, like it had its own heartbeat, something that doesn't belong in the sky at all. And tell me, did you feel it too? That little tug, like someone up there was whispering your name, so soft you could almost miss it, but impossible to mistake. This wasn't some stray sunbeam. It felt like a sign sent right on time, right when it was needed, like a wake-up call for anybody still hitting the snooze button. In the Bible, Exodus 13:21 says the Lord went ahead of his people by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light. When that soft golden pillar came down through the clouds, it was like that old story stepped right into 2024 or 2025, whenever you saw it. A gentle reminder that he's still out in front, still lighting the path, still calling folks who are ready to come home. It doesn't feel forced. It feels as natural as taking your next breath, especially after all the other wild things we've seen piling up in the sky, like chapters in a book. Strange lights in the sky aren't brand new, of course, but most of them stay neatly inside what science can explain. This one sat right on that blurry, beautiful line, half miracle, half warning, half gift, for anyone willing to really look. And that's what sticks with you. It didn't scare anybody. It just invited. Quiet, but clear. Soft, but unmistakable. Here's the other thing. This light showed up right when the world's dealing with one disaster after another. Wild weather, oceans acting up, the sky throwing tantrums. In the middle of all that mess, that gentle beam felt like a rope let down from above, not to yank everybody up whether they like it or not, but waiting there for anyone who chooses to grab hold. It's hope, but the kind you have to reach for. So this seventh sign doesn't close the story with fear. It closes it with a way out. After all the shaking, the splitting, the warnings, here comes this tender light, like one last invitation. Have you ever run into anything strange like this out in real life? Drop your story in the comments so the rest of us old folks can read it too. Looking back at the 7 strange things that happened one after another this year, we're not just seeing random events anymore. It feels like a chain of signs put together with scary precision. Each one is like a gentle but urgent knock on the door, forcing us to face something mankind has tried to avoid for thousands of years. An old cycle of judgment coming back around. And if you pay close attention, every single one touches something deep in the Bible, like someone's trying to tell us, time's running out. The first sign, that weird streak of light ripping across the sky over Texas, wasn't just some mystery flash. It felt like the opening announcement, like an invisible trumpet saying the gates of heaven aren't sealed shut the way we thought. When the sky lit up like it was about to split open, wasn't that a little like the first trumpet the prophets talked about? Science can call it a meteor or plasma or whatever, but that uneasy feeling still sticks to you like a shadow you can't shake. Then came the ground breathing in Fresno, something so creepy that even watching the video gives you chills. The earth cracked and rose and fell like some huge thing was turning over underneath. The Bible says over and over that the earth will shake. And right then, those words stopped feeling like symbols and started looking like real life. If the dry ground can come alive like that, just imagine what the oceans, already a million times wilder, are getting ready to do. The third sign was those moaning, groaning sounds coming from the sky and the sea up in Alaska. Honestly, more powerful than any sermon. Deep, eerie noises that sounded like they came from inside the earth or maybe from the other side. Plenty of folks heard it and thought, something's calling us. Like a long, low warning that makes you look up and wonder, what's heaven trying to say? Number 4, schools of fish popping up out of the bone-dry sand in Nevada. Sounds crazy, but the video is real. Fish coming up in the desert? That's straight out of Genesis, coming to life. When water shows up where there shouldn't be any, it's always a sign something big is shifting. And when sea creatures appear on dry land, it's a reminder of the great upside-down world the flood brought. The fifth one was that snake-shaped cloud creature moving under the deep water in the Indian Ocean. In the Bible, Leviathan, the sea serpent, is tied to the chaos right before judgment. The way that thing twisted and curled like a living ribbon, hollow but still shaped like something waiting to wake up, it took your breath away. And if you look close, the deep ocean has never really been quiet. It's just holding its breath before the first roar. Sixth, the sky over Europe got torn clean in half. One side warm gold like paradise, the other cold dark blue like the pit. Anybody who saw it just stood there frozen. The sky has never shown two feelings so clearly. It felt like a preview of Judgment Day, when people get divided. Light on one side, darkness on the other. You felt it too, didn't you? Like you're being asked to pick a side even though nobody said a word. And the seventh, the pale golden pillar of light coming straight down from the clouds to the earth. This wasn't regular sunshine. This light had weight. It pressed on you. It touched something inside. Just like the Bible talks about the pillar of fire that led Israel through the dark night, this felt like one last hand reaching down, inviting whoever still wants to come home before the door shuts for good. You have to admit, that wasn't light for looking at. It was light for waking up. 7 events, 7 reminders. Put them together and they're not just odd stories anymore. They're a prophecy filling itself in. The next great flood won't just be water pouring from the sky. It'll rise from the ground and the sea. The Bible described this cycle plenty of times. When people walk away from faith, when chaos feels normal, when the signs come fast and thick, that's when the cleansing comes. And maybe, just maybe, we're standing right on that line. Humanity is going to split in two, not by money or power or smarts, just the simplest and hardest thing there is, faith. The ones who wake up, who see what these signs really mean, will find the way out. The ones who write it all off as weird weather, coincidence, internet rumors, they'll get swept away by the same denial they chose. So here's the only question that matters. Which side are you on right now? If something inside you is stirring even a little, don't brush it off. Sometimes listening to that quiet nudge is enough to change everything. Time's getting short, and you already know it. Not because I'm saying it. Those signs already said it loud and clear. Can you feel it? All those signs and images we just saw aren't some made-up story. They're real, living warnings that a second great flood is coming soon. It's not just an old legend or something you read in a book anymore. It's happening right in front of us, one strange thing after another, like drumbeats trying to wake up anyone who still cares. Think about what we've seen. A weird streak of light ripping across the sky, the ground shaking like it's alive, schools of fish showing up in the desert, snake-like clouds way down in the deep ocean, the sky split between light and dark, a pale golden beam shining straight down from the clouds. Every single one is a warning, a reminder that we don't have much time left to fool around. Can you feel that pressure? It's like a quiet but urgent voice telling us to do something now. Humanity has a choice: wake up or keep chasing things that don't matter. The Bible says over and over that when the time comes, God will separate good from evil and open a way to safety for anyone who turns back to Him and prays. If anyone wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. Luke 9:23. That's not just a nice saying. It's a life or death instruction for right now. So what do we do today? Repent, pray, and get our hearts ready. No more putting it off. Look around. The signs keep coming, whether we're ready or not. Once you see the truth, let faith be your boat and head toward the light God is sending down. Don't wait until everything falls apart. Don't wait until the water's at your door. Start preparing your heart and spirit today so you're not swept away. When you look at those pictures, does something stir inside you? Maybe it was the streak in the sky or that pale golden beam coming down. Something that made you stop and wonder where you really stand in this crazy world. That feeling is why we all have to act, choose, and stay awake. Don't ever think you're too small to make a difference. One awake soul can change everything. Picture it again. The oceans are waking up. The sky is dividing good from evil. The earth is shaking to tell us what's coming. Do you see it? This is the moment when the people who wake up will be saved, and everyone else will be carried off by a flood they can't stop. If you're still on the fence, let that golden light shine into your heart and remind you, it's never too late to turn around. Let's do this together. Just stop for a second. Say a prayer, or at least take a quiet moment to think about what you just saw. Open your heart to waking up, to the light that guides you, to the hope that God's door is still open for anyone who comes back. Feel free to leave a prayer in the comments. Tell us which sign hit you the hardest, or just share the moment that made you ask, where am I really at in my life? And if you want to help spread the word, please like, share, and subscribe so more folks can see these signs that are impossible to ignore. Share your wake-up moment. It might be the light that guides someone who's still asleep in all the noise. Every little thing you do today is another plank in the boat that will ride out the coming flood. But never forget, there's always hope. God's door is wide open for anyone who turns back, for any soul that still wants the light. It doesn't matter what you've done or how far you've wandered. That light is still shining to say the choice is yours. The moment you realize it, wake up and pray. That's when the door to safety starts to open. I truly believe that one brave step, one awake heart, can change it all. Let this be the strong reminder. The second great flood isn't a fairy tale. It's real, and it's almost here. Every sign you just watched is an alarm bell, a last wake-up call. Act now. Don't wait. Repent. Pray. Get ready. And choose the path back to the light. Only the ones who wake up will find shelter, will step onto the boat while the floodwaters rise. And finally, drop your thoughts below. Which sign hit you the hardest so we can wake up together? Remember to like, share, and subscribe, because every small action today helps spread the light and wake up souls that are still sleeping. Are you ready? Have you ever noticed that our lives are always being quietly watched over? Have you ever felt like the only reason you're still here today is because some higher power has been protecting you from the shadows? You know what? I truly believe in guardian angels, those holy beings that God sends down to shield us when danger is at its worst. They're not just stories from the Bible. They could be right here with us, invisible, or sometimes even showing up in a form we can see, ready to step in the moment disaster strikes. In today's world, with cameras everywhere, people have accidentally captured real proof that they're out there. The videos we're about to watch aren't made up or fake. They're actual moments caught on camera that make you stop and think about God and His army of angels standing by. Come watch these with me all the way to the end, and you'll see we're never really alone. And believing in miracles can completely change how you look at life. A lot of folks say they've seen angels with their own eyes in real life, but hardly anyone believes them. How about you? Have you ever seen one for real? Drop a comment below and let me and everyone else know. And no more waiting, let's jump right in and look at 7 videos where cameras caught angels out in the real world. Some of these moments are going to touch your heart big time. 1. Angel saves person from traffic accident. This video comes from a traffic camera at a busy intersection in Los Angeles, USA, late at night on June 15, 2015. If you've seen it before, you know why it gave millions of people goosebumps. If this is your first time hearing about it, get ready, because what happens in those 3 short seconds might make you wonder, are we really only surrounded by ordinary people? Around 10 p.m., cars were still flying through like streaks of light. A young woman steps into the street, and the first car stops just in time. Everything looks fine. But that moment of safety sets up a tragedy only a split second away. The second car comes racing in, completely hidden behind the first one. The street's loud, lights are flashing, and nobody sees the crash coming like a death sentence. Then, out of nowhere, a dark figure shoots out from the sidewalk. So fast the camera only catches a blur. That figure pushes the girl clear across to the other side in exactly 1 second. 1 second. Enough for a person to live or die. She falls down, shaking, trying to catch her breath. The second car slams on the brakes, tires smoking. The driver stunned, no idea what just happened. And the mystery person, without a word, without looking back, runs off into the dark. The FBI got involved and studied every single frame. No editing, no tricks, just one movement too fast for science to explain. Some experts called it an optical illusion. A few said it was just a quick passerby, but that speed? Nobody wants to say for sure. Nobody wants to touch the real answer. That moment reminds people of Psalm 91 to 11:1-2. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. A promise of divine help. A picture that looks exactly like this girl being snatched away from death. And the speed? It's just like Ezekiel 1:14. The living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. A movement faster than any human. Exactly like that dark streak in the video. If it wasn't an angel, then what was it? If it was just a normal person, why did they disappear like they were never there? That question still hangs in the air today. A quiet but chilling reminder that some moments in life won't bow to reason. And when you think the story ends there, it's only getting started. Because right after that, on the other side of the ocean, the sky over Rome caught something even harder to believe. Now let's move to an older video from Europe, where an angel appeared in the sky over Rome. 2. An angel flying over the sky of Rome. This video is pretty old. It was shot by an American family vacationing in Rome. They were visiting St. Peter's Basilica on December 20th, 1998, on a winter morning when the sky was just solid white, like a big blank sheet of paper. No sun, not really cloudy either, just this even, cold light covering the whole huge square and making your face sting in the wind. The family had on heavy coats and scarves, and they turned on their camcorder to catch a nice, quiet moment together in wintertime Rome. Everything felt normal, until something weird showed up in the shot. At first, they thought it was a bird, a little black dot moving across that perfect white sky. But no, it wasn't flapping, it wasn't circling, it didn't drop or move like any bird they'd ever seen. When they zoomed in later, the shape was unbelievably clear. A tall, human-like figure, wearing a wide, flowing robe, flying straight and steady like the sky was its own private road. The whole family just froze in the cold. Nobody said a word, because whatever it was didn't move like a plane, didn't move like a drone, didn't move like anything they knew. It hovered for a second, drifted gently to the left, then rose higher, like it was looking down at everything, calm and majestic and powerful, standing out against that white winter sky. Other tourists started pointing up too. Some pulled out their own cameras. Some just stood there with their mouths open. But the thing didn't zip away like a shadow. It stayed long enough that everybody down there put a hand to their chest, trying to calm their heart, feeling like they were staring at something that didn't belong in this world. Then, it slowly flew back into the white clouds behind the dome of St. Peter's and was gone. When the video started going around, experts offered a few ideas. Maybe a big eagle, maybe an early test drone. But honestly, does that height, that movement, that shape really look like what they're guessing? A bunch of video analysts who studied it say there's no sign of editing. And science? It just takes a step back and stays quiet, because there's no safe explanation to give. This moment makes people think of Hebrews 1:14. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? An angel, a messenger, showing up quietly to remind us the sky isn't as empty as we think. And sometimes God lets us see just enough to wake our hearts up again. It also brings to mind 2 Kings 6:17. Elisha prayed, "Lord, open his eyes so he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha, a supernatural sight that only those who are allowed get to see. Maybe Rome in 98 had one of those moments. And just when you think that's the end of the story, nope. The strange events kept coming. Right after that, down in Mexico, another video surfaced showing an angel along with the sound of trumpets that shook the whole internet. Let's move. 3. Angels landing on a rooftop in Mexico. This moment will take you to a hot afternoon in Mexico City on August 10th, 2018. A local lady was hanging laundry on her rooftop when she happened to point her phone toward the neighbor's terrace, just catching some ordinary summer day stuff. But ordinary turned extraordinary real quick. Up there on the roof, a little child and a woman with big, pure white wings floated down like they were landing from the sky. They weren't wearing any clothes, but nothing felt crude about it. Instead, it looked peaceful and holy. The child was holding a little trumpet, just like the cherubs you see in old paintings and Bible pictures. When the trumpet sounded, the sweetest music filled the air, like the whole rooftop was wrapped in heaven's own song. The woman stood beside him, calmly looking around. The second she realized someone was filming, the child waved a warning. The woman took off running, and in a blink, they both flew out of sight, leaving everybody stunned and full of questions. Experts from the National University of Mexico studied the video. Some said it might be big white birds or some kind of heat wave mirage from the strong sun. But the trumpet sound, the way the two figures moved together so perfectly, and their clear, smart reactions are tough for science to explain. A lot of researchers just stayed quiet, admitting this was something strange that regular ideas about light or animals can't cover. This clip might bring to mind Matthew 18:10. See that you do not despise one of these little ones. For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. That child angel feels like a reminder that God never leaves little ones unprotected, and the trumpet calls to mind Revelation 8:2. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them, hinting at a holy message and heaven stepping into our world. These images don't just shock people, they make us wonder, what if we actually saw angels on the most normal day of our lives? That sudden visit on a Mexico City rooftop, with trumpet music and clever gestures, makes us stop and ask, could our everyday, ordinary moments be hiding signs of something supernatural that we've never noticed before? And from Mexico, the mystery keeps rolling right into New York, where a dazzling white light showed up smack in the middle of a shopping center, promising another amazing sight. Shall we keep going and see it together? Are you ready? 4. Glowing white figure in the shopping mall. Early morning on March 5th, 2020, one of the big malls in New York was almost empty. A security camera accidentally caught a glowing white figure floating in the air. It was bright, but not blinding, and it looked soft and graceful, like a fairy in a flowing dress, wrapped in a gentle, misty light. The white shape came down a little, then shot straight back up, as if it paused just to think about something. Anyone watching can't help but hold their breath. Doesn't your heart kind of jump with every move it makes? The speed and the smooth way it floated was way beyond anything normal, turning the whole moment into something truly mysterious. Light experts looked at the video and guessed it might be a reflection off glass or LED lights. But honestly, the brightness stayed steady. The human-like shape and the delicate movements left a lot of scientists quiet. They really couldn't come up with a solid answer. It makes you wonder, is this just light? Or maybe a message from something beyond our world? In the Bible, Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps